Right now, while the entire world's focus is on the war in Gaza, in which thousands of innocent people have been killed, something is happening in the Red Sea near the Horn of Africa that can destabilize the entire Middle East and even the world as a whole. Horn has currently choked the world's most strategic point. In the last 2 months, 12 container ships have been targeted with missiles and drones, due to which global trade has been ultimately affected. In response to this aggression, the American and British Navy carried out a massive bombardment on Yemen on January 11 and 12. In response, on January 16, Yemen once again attacked another ship passing through the Red Sea with a drone, after which the situation became very tense. Welcome to Live Economic News. Make sure to subscribe, activate the bell and like. When Israel attacked Gaza, Iran backed Houthi at full support for Hamas.
أكدوا أن هذه العملية هي العملية الثالثة نصرة لإخواننا المظلومين.
However, because Yemen is about 2,000 kilometers away from Gaza, Houthis could not directly be a part of this war. That is why, in November 2023, he announced that he would attack every ship passing near Yemen that is either going to Israel or coming from Israel, or has an Israeli flag on it, or has any Israeli on board. These attacks will continue until Israel stops the attacks on Gaza. Due to these attacks, global trade has been severely disrupted, and the reason for this is that this entire area of the Red Sea is significant for our world. For running the global economy, it is essential to have smooth trade, and 80% of our world's trade happens through seas. One of these seas is the Red Sea, which is the hottest and most dangerous geopolitical area of the 21st century because there are 2 choke points here. One is Egypt's Suez Canal, and secondly, there is the Bab el-Mandeb Strait near Yemen. This narrow place of 28 kilometers is where the ships coming from the Middle East and Asia cross the Indian Ocean, enter the Red Sea, and then enter the Suez Canal. After crossing the world, they go out into the Mediterranean Sea, and from there, they reach Europe and America. This is the shortest route to connect Asia and the Middle East to Europe. The world has oil supply at 10% and natural gas at 6%. It passes through this 28 kilometers choke point, and all this gas and oil comes here from the Persian Gulf by crossing the Strait of Hormuz. According to the statistics of 2022, 20% of the oil and 24% of the gas imports of the entire Europe come from this Bab el-Mandeb Strait. It passes through, and not only oil and gas, but trade, as Asia and Europe are also connected through this route. 30% of China's manufacturing exports go to Europe and North America through this Bab el-Mandeb Strait. So if, for any reason, this route is blocked, the global economy can collapse because there is only one alternative route, and that is to cross the entire African continent. Before the Suez Canal was built, container ships used this route, which was 7,400 kilometers away from the Suez Canal route. It is long due to extra fuel costs, which is why these shipping companies are losing millions of dollars after the attack of Yemeni Houthis. Till now, Yemeni Houthis has targeted the elite commercial ships here with missiles and drones, due to which the world's 5 largest container shipping companies have stopped their operations through the Red Sea. These include Denmark's Maersk Line, France's CMA-CGM, Germany's Hapag-Lloyd, and Switzerland's MSC. These 5 companies have a shipping capacity of 50% of the world. Recently, British Petroleum has also announced that it will close its operations through the Red Sea, and if a few more companies join this boycott, then Europe's oil and gas supply will be in great danger. Similarly, the shipping industry will be in danger, and Dodge also feels that insurance costs have increased 10 times. Given that oil tankers are very expensive, the impact of this price increase will be in thousands of dollars. Now, America will do a lot to protect this route and Israeli ships. It is trying and has appealed to the international community to join hands with it in carrying out an operation against the Yemeni terrorists. Still, apart from Britain, no other country has come forward in the operation against the Yemeni terrorists. France, Italy, and Spain have refused to go straight ahead. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and UAE are also missing from this operation. China and Russia, who have military bases in Djibouti, are also silently watching everything. Political differences are on one side, but in this neutrality, weapons are so expensive that they are not only these tiny drones. Let me explain to you with an example. Recently, France used an Air-15 surface-to-air missile to shoot down Yemen's Shad drone. Now, the cost of this French missile is $1 million, whereas the cost of a Yemeni drone is only $20,000. meaning destroying a $20,000 drone by hitting a $1 million missile is not justified in any way. On the other hand, if these ships are destroyed, then that too is a loss of millions of dollars. So it is a win-win situation for Houthi. That is why it has become a complicated conflict, and many countries do not want to be a part of this blockade. Egypt is also very worried about this. There will be a negative impact because it earns $10 billion annually from the ships passing through the Suez Canal. Hence, the Egyptian economy will take a big hit when the containers go through the African route. Saudi Arabia is still silent on this matter, although since 2015, Saudi Arabia has been supporting Yemeni Hassan. But now recently, Saudi Arabia has changed its approach against Yemen. Recently, Saudi Arabia has also signed peace treaties with the Yemeni leadership. According to some analysts, Saudi Arabia is also furious at the USA because when Yemeni drones were used by Saudi Arabia when there was an attack on Arab oil pipelines, there was no extraordinary proactive response from America. That is why now Saudi Arabia is just watching the whole situation as a spectator. But on the other hand, the UAE is putting a lot of pressure on America to launch a full-scale attack on Houthi. This is because the UAE supports the anti-Houthi group in Yemen, and for the last few years, the UAE has taken a lot of interest in Yemen, and the reason for this is the huge oil reserves discovered in Yemen. According to some reports, Yemen has the largest oil reserves in the world after Venezuela. It has the second largest in tapped oil reserves, and many Arab countries do not want the control of those reserves to be in the hands of Houthi. According to Yemeni economist Hassan Ali, Saudi Arabia has made a secret agreement with the USA, due to which, for the last 30 years, Yemen has been prevented from utilizing these oil reserves. According to research by international drilling companies, Yemen has more oil reserves than the entire Persian Gulf. Similarly, in January 2013, Sky News reported that Yemen has more oil reserves than the entire Persian Gulf, consisting of 34 oil reserves, all located in Al Jaf province. Saudi Arabia's oil exports could suffer a significant dent if these reserves are utilized. This vulnerability makes Yemenis feel that Saudi Arabia is most susceptible to the current situation in Yemen. Saudi Arabia is perceived as guilty of promoting the civil war in Yemen for its benefit. Now, awareness has grown among Yemenis, whom the world has ignored for many years. They are taking matters into their own hands. Many world powers are in despair, and Houthi has threatened that if Israel does not stop the Gaza war, they will blow up all the internet cables passing through the Red Sea. This action could lead to the destruction of Asia and the Middle East, causing a loss of internet connectivity. Yemen's strategic importance in the world could destabilize the Middle East and even the world. The Houthis' actions in Yemen, marked by attacks on commercial vessels and a partial blockade of Hodeida port, pose a significant threat to global inflation. Houthi attacks increase shipping costs, with rerouted vessels causing higher fuel expenses passed on to consumers through elevated prices for imported goods. The blockade disrupts global supply chains, leading to shortages and increased prices for essential items. Geopolitical uncertainty from ongoing conflict raises concerns about further disruptions and prompts heightened risk premiums for regional businesses, contributing to inflationary pressures. However, their impact is part of a complex global economic landscape influenced by broader factors such as the pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and energy price fluctuations. The year 2024 is expected to bring significant changes. Currently, the next few months or even weeks are anticipated to be very decisive, with substantial changes in the geopolitical and economical world. Videos on these topics will be made soon. Subscribe to the channel for timely notifications. Until the next video, take care and goodbye.